Well, good afternoon, one and all. Senator Brown and I are happy to welcome you to our hearing today. We thank you for joining us. Today will be actually, as it turns out, we have a vote starting at 2:15, and I think Senator Brown is going to slip out here in a few minutes and run and vote. So he'll be at the beginning, and he'll come back and chair the hearing till I get back, and so we can both vote. We won't waste your time. And we'll get this show on the road. But welcome. Today we'll examine the challenges that our federal government faces in managing our property, really the property of the American people. We'll also discuss the President's proposal to address at least some of these challenges through the creation of what the administration is calling a Civilian Property Realignment Board to assist agencies in right-sizing our federal real estate portfolio. There is general consensus that the federal government has to get smarter about the way we manage our buildings and lands, and with concerns over the implications for our deficit and our national debt mounting, eliminating waste and achieving cost savings in this area must remain a priority. Between 2001 and 2009, we ran up as much debt as we did in the first 208 years of our nation's history. Last year, we ran up what may be the largest budget deficit in our nation's history. While most of us here in Washington are united in our desire to find a solution to our country's fiscal problems, we're still facing an ocean of red ink for as far as the eye can see. A wide variety of ideas have been put forward on how to reduce our budget deficits and begin whittling down our debt. Last fall, a majority of the Bipartisan Deficit Commission, appointed by President Obama, provided us with a roadmap to reduce the cumulative federal deficits over the next decade by roughly $4 trillion. A number of the steps we would need to take in order to accomplish this goal will likely be painful. Many Americans believe that those of us here in Washington aren't capable of taking these steps. They don't think we can do the hard work that we were hired to do, that is to effectively manage the tax dollars, their tax dollars that they've entrusted to us. They look at the spending decisions we've made in recent years and the poor management across government and question whether the culture here is broken. They question whether we're capable of making the kind of tough decisions they and their families have to make every day with respect to their own budgets, and I don't blame them for being skeptical. We need to establish a different kind of culture here in Washington when it comes to spending. We need to establish what I call a culture of thrift. That involves looking at every nook and cranny of federal spending, domestic, defense, entitlement programs, along with tax expenditures, and asking this simple question: is it possible to get better results for less money, or at least to get better results for the same amount of money? When it comes to federal property management, it's clear to me and to others that we can get better results and save money. Federal property management has been on the Government Accountability Office's high-risk list since January of 2003, in part due to the overwhelming number of unneeded, underutilized, and even vacant facilities held by federal agencies. The most recent comprehensive data available showed that federal agencies apparently possess more than 45,000 underutilized buildings, totaling more than 340 million square feet in space. That's about the size of Delaware. Well, I exaggerate, but it's a lot of space. These buildings cost nearly $1.7 billion annually to secure and to maintain. Just last month, the administration released a list of 14,000 real property assets that have been identified as excess, meaning they no longer meet a federal need and should be disposed of. In addition, we're also likely over-leasing. Since 2008, the General Services Administration has leased more property than it owns, even though owning a federal building is often a more cost-effective way of meeting an agency's long-term needs. Fortunately, both Congress and the Obama administration are united in their commitment to address this issue. In June of 2010, President Obama issued a memorandum urging agencies to move more swiftly to dispose of unneeded property. He also put into place a goal of achieving $3 billion in savings through property sales and other disposal actions by the end of fiscal year 2012. In addition, the President's latest budget includes a recommendation to form what the administration calls a Civilian Property Realignment Board, whose purpose would be to review the government's property portfolio and dispose of those deemed excess in an expedited manner. This is a proposal that my colleagues and I on the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee still need to spend time examining, but I'm pleased that the President has put this suggestion, something aggressive, on the table. Clearly, the momentum is building to address a widely recognized problem, yet in all of our zeal to save, we must be intelligent in our approach. Rome was not built in a day. The federal government's bloated property portfolio cannot be unbuilt in a day. We have an opportunity to do this right, change the way the government manages its hundreds of billions of dollars worth of assets. The President's proposal may be the right approach. It may not be. It does, however, hold some promise, and that said, agencies shouldn't be waiting for a civilian BRAC to solve their problem in the meanwhile managing properties. In an era of shrinking budgets and scarce resources, it's critical that agencies come up with innovative property management tools to expeditiously dispose of assets that they no longer need and take better care of those that they do need. In some, our government has many underutilized and vacant properties that cost billions of dollars each year to maintain. We pay for their maintenance, we pay for security for those properties, we pay for utilities for many of those properties. Despite efforts to reduce this inventory, multiple obstacles remain that preclude quick and easy solutions. And I really look forward to hearing from our witnesses today as you share your thoughts with us on the administration's plan and on sitting down with our committee colleagues who are interested in this issue so that we can move forward with the more difficult work that lies ahead. Senator Brown?